So today's topic is going to be about various parts of lathe. As shown in this figure, these are the various parts of lathe which are generally asked you for exam with the diagram. In today's part, we are going to describe each and every part of the lathe in detail. Okay. So first part is bed. Okay. So before discussing the various parts of lathe, there are many types of lathe also. There are many types of lathe machines also. Now, which are that we will just discuss now. First is bench lathe, second is speed lathe, third is engine lathe, then comes your tool room lathe, turret lathe, automatic lathe, and special purpose lathes. Okay, so these are the 7 types of lathe machines. Okay, now again they are categorized on the size. Okay, how is the category done with respect to size? So height of center, length between the centers, the length of bed, then the swing diameter. This is how the category is done. Lathe machine is categorized. Okay. Now we will come back to our topic, that is various parts of lathe machine. So first is our bed. Okay. So it acts as a base of the machine on which different fixed and operating parts of lathe are mounted. Okay, it is actually the base of machine on which many different parts are mounted. The headstock and the tailstock are mounted on either end of the bed, and the carrying rest of the lathe bed and slides on it. So the headstock and the tailstock are both mounted on the bed in opposite. Okay, they are mounted oppositely, that is on either end, and many other parts are also on that. And the thing is, the headstock and tailstock can slide on it, on the lead bed. Is it clear? Also, it has withstand various forces exerted on the cutting tool during the operation. While cutting operation, much force is acting on the bed. So the role of bed is also to withstand the various forces exerted on the cutting tool. Is it clear? Now we will see the bed. Okay. So if you are able to see, this is the bed. So you have to describe the theory in the topic and draw this simple diagram for the purpose of for the exam purposes. Is it clear? And if you have worked on the lathe machine in your college, then it will be easy for you to understand also. Now there are some conditions which has to be satisfied by the bed before machining work. Okay. What are the conditions we will study now? So now listen carefully. This question can be also asked you for exam for 3 to 5 marks. Okay, they can ask you what are the conditions which must be satisfied by the bed before an accurate machining operation. Is it clear? So first is to prevent deflection under cutting, pressure transmitted through the tool post and carriage. The bed should be sufficiently rigid. Okay, it must prevent deflection while cutting. Then the bed must be rigid. Okay, so these are the first condition which must be satisfied by the bed while machining operation. Is it clear? Second thing is to absorb vibration. The bed must be massive with sufficient depth and width. Now to absorb the vibration while the cutting operation, what is the necessity? The necessity is that the bed must be massive, the bed must be big enough and with sufficient depth and width. So the depth and width of the bed must be good enough so that it can absorb the vibrations. Now the third condition is to resist the twisting stress setup due to the resultant of two force, downward cutting force and two tool and the force training to move tool away from the workpiece. Bed casting are made to have a box section incorporation cross ribs. Okay, so that is twisting setup due to the resultant of two forces, that is downward. So we have already seen what are the forces which are acting on the lathe machine or working tool or the workpiece. Okay, so basically in this point it is given that it has to resist all the forces which have been occurred during the operation. Okay, during the machining operation, whatever the forces are occurred, this has to be resisted with the resisted by lathe bed. Okay, now let's come to the fourth condition. To avoid distortion or wrap that may develop when it is cooled after the bed is cast, the bed should be seconded naturally. So if any type of crack, any type of what we can say, any type of defect is found in the bed while casting, the bed should be seconded naturally. Okay, so there must while casting of the bed there must be not such any distortion on the bed. Last point or condition to be satisfied by the bed is on the top of the bed there are two sets of guideways. First is inner ways and second is outer way. The outer guideways passing sliding surface from the carriage and inner way for the tailstock. Hence, to make them parallel to the lathe axis, absolute horizontal and sufficient plane grinding surface are currently machined. Is it clear? So there are two guideways which are provided on the bed. One is inner way, another is outer way. And what is the use of it? The tail, stock, etc. slides on it. Okay, as per the adjustment for the machining of the tool. Sorry, machining of the workpiece. The guideway of the lathe bed may be flat or inverted V having an include angle of 90 degree. So the guideway can be flat also, can be inverted V shape also, which includes the angle of 90 degree. Okay, the material of the bed should have high compressive strength, should be wear resistance and absorb vibration. The material which is selected for the bed while casting also needs to be inspected. Okay, so that the casting of the bed will be proper and there will be no deflection on the bed when it is used in machinery. And in this point it is given that the bed should have high compression strength, that is high compressive strength, and should be wear resistant and it should absorb the vibration. Such material is to be selected. Now the next thing is usually lead bed is made up of cast iron alloyed with nickel and chromium. So now we got to know about the material also which is used in manufacturing of the bed of lathe. What is it? It is cast iron alloy or alloyed with nickel and chromium. Okay, nickel and chromium actually reduce the chances of corrosion. Is it clear? So this is your bed. We were talking about this thing. Okay, some important parts in the lathe machine. Okay, if you see there are many important parts, but these are few of the more important parts which you have to describe in exam, or they can ask you it they can only ask two or three from this all. Okay, but which we don't know, so you have to learn them all. So the now next is headstock. So this is headstock. We'll see here. Okay, this is headstock. Headstock. What is it? We will see now. So headstock is a part of lathe which serve as a housing for the driving pulley and back gears, provides bearing from the spindle of the machine and keep the lathe in alignment with the bed. So what generally is a headstock? It is a housing which is provided, okay, on the lathe machine, and in that housing what are the other things included? So in that housing there are driving pulley and back gears, okay, bearings or spindles, etc. So these are all the things which is in headstock. The function of headstock are as follows. Now let's see what are the function of headstocks. So there are totally three functions of headstock. First is to support the spindle. First function is important, it is to support the spindle. Second is to carry driving mechanism for the workpiece. Carry driving mechanism to the workpiece. Now see, if it is possible for you to see that on headstock spindle is mounted. Okay, some first function I have told you to support the spindle. Second is to carry driving mechanism of the workpiece. So here is the motor. Okay, that means it carries the driving mechanism of the workpiece. Third is to give multiple speed to the spindle. Now here, as I told you, here is the gearbox, so it can easily provide the multiple speeds to the spindle. Is it clear? Now also we are discussing about the lathe parts, okay, but there are also some important parts which are in the headstock. Now we will discuss that headstock consists of the following main parts. Let's see what are the main parts which are in the headstock. So first is cone pulley and back gear. Second is main spindle, that is headstock spindle, which I have, so it is shown here. Third is back gear and lever. Fourth is live center, and fifth is feed reverse lever. Okay, so these are the things which are inside the headstock. These are the parts of headstock. Is it clear? Now headstock is mounted on the inner base at the left hand side of the lathe bed. So where is see, this is the diagrammatic representation of lathe machine. So what is given in this point? It is given that where is the headstock located. So headstock is located in left direction, okay, left hand end of the lathe bed. So for now, not much technical terms are used, or not, they are not expecting you to give information more about technical things of headstock. What are shown, the function is given, the main parts of the headstock is given. Similarly, what else is given, location is given, and further we will discuss what else is given. Okay, so the next point is the front end of spindle hole is trapped in which taper sleeves fits. Okay, the live center is fitted in the sleeve and the nose of the spindle is threaded on which a chuck driving plate or face plate can be screwed. Okay, the chuck is then now what, from this point what you got to know, that chuck or a driving plate is fixed on the headstock. Okay, they are screwed. Is it clear? The next point is the rotation axis of a spindle is parallel to the way of the bed, and the spindle revolves on the two large bearing housing on the headstock casting. In the lathe, it is necessary to vary the speed of workpiece to suit the different machining condition, which are as follows. Now there are different machining conditions on the headstock as well, which are we going to see now. Okay, totally there are 7 different things. Okay, let's see. So first is the type of material to be cut. Now material is one of the important thing which can change your speed, the tool, and many things. So the type of material to be cut. Then the second is type of cutting tool material. Okay, then the type of finishing required. Then comes the type of cutting fluid used, rigidity and condition of machining, the diameter of workpiece, and the type of operations. So many things from this we have learned. We have learned, or we have already learned the cutting, what types of cutting fluids. Then we have learned the type of operations, diameter of workpiece. Okay, so these are the things which we have already learned. Now there are two types of headstock which are commonly used. Now two types of headstock which are commonly used in the lathe machine are, first is back gear cone pulley type. Okay, just note it down. First is back gear cone pulley type headstock, and the second is all gear drive type headstock. So these are the two type of headstock which are generally used. Okay, I'll repeat it again. Back gear cone pulley type and all gear drive pulley type. Is it clear? Now let's see the next part. What is it? It is our tailstock. Okay, now we are going to see what is the tailstock. So this is your tailstock opposite to headstock, as I described it in the before part also. Okay, tailstock. So tailstock is also known as loose headstock or puppet head. Puppet head. Okay, there are two names of tailstock. What are they? Loose headstock, and the second is puppet head. Tailstock is situated at the right hand end of the bed and can be moved on the inner way of the bed. Okay, where is it situated? It is situated in the right end. Okay, it is situated in the right end of the bed. And where was headstock situated? It was situated in the left end of the bed. Clear? The main function of the tailstock are, now see, there are three main functions of tailstock. We have already discussed the three main functions of the headstock. Okay, now three main functions of the tailstock. From that, first is to support the another end of the workpiece when it is being machined between centers. Okay, what is the role of tailstock? The role of tailstock is to support the workpiece. Okay, when it is machined between the centers. Clear? Second is to hold a tool for performing operations such as drilling, reaming, tapping, etc. So while drilling, reaming, tapping, counter boring, boring, etc. Such operation, for this operation, tailstock is used to hold the tool. Clear? Now the next function is, that is the last function of the tailstock, is to turn a taper on the workpiece by using tailstock set over method. It is used to turn a taper on the workpiece. Okay, now there are some important parts of tailstock also. As we have seen the important parts of headstock, there are also important parts of tailstock, which consist of. So the parts are: first is spindle, second is tailstock slide, in which the housing for the spindle is bored, third is base fitted to the sideways, then the fourth is screw and the hand wheel to control the longitudinal movement of the spindle, and the fifth is tailstock clamping bolts and drive for clamping the spindle. So these are the four to five important parts in the spindle, or sorry, in the tailstock of lathe. Now I am not explaining it further because it is not important and it is not going to be asked in exam. Okay, for describing the tailstock, you just have to draw the diagram. Okay, and you have to write the information and the function of the tailstock and the two names which I have told you for the tailstocks. Is it clear? Now let's see some of the theory for the tailstock. The tailstock spindle, which holds the dead center, is also adjustable longitudinally by using a hand wheel, which operates the shoulder screw. The screw can revolve freely in the gap in the cap by turning a hand wheel, but has no end motion. It has no end motion, and that's the reason it turns the nut. It causes the spindle to move towards or away from the hand wheel. Okay, so and last point in the tailstock, to remove the dead center, the hand wheel should be turned back until the end of the screw strike the end of the center of the forces in out. So this was the basic theory about tailstock. See, the diagram is shown to you. Okay, function has been explained, main parts of the tailstock has been discussed, and even the two names which are also given to the tailstock, that is loose headstock. Okay, loose headstock, and the another name is puppet head. These are the two names which are given to the tailstock, which has discussed. Next part is your carriage. So where is carriage? See, this part is your carriage. Let's see what is carriage, what are the types of carriage, what is the function of the carriage now. So let's study about the carriage. The lathe carriage is used for supporting, guiding and feeding the tool against the workpiece during the operation of the lathe. It consists of the following parts. So see, what is the function of the lathe carriage machine? It is used for supporting, then guiding, feeding the tool against the workpiece. So these are the three main functions of the carriage. Okay, now let's see what are the main parts of the carriage. First is saddle. Okay, second is cross slide, third is your compound rest, fourth is your tool post, and fifth is your apron. So we are going to discuss these all parts in detail, as it can be asked you for exam. So what are the parts of the carriage? Because this topic is small, which is given in your textbook, it is very small topic. So if they are asking, if they want to ask you the question on the topic carriage, then they will definitely ask this question: what are the main parts of the carriage? Okay, let's begin now. So first is saddle. What is saddle? Saddle is an H-shaped casting which slides along the bedway and supports the cross slide, compound rest and tool post. Is it clear? Now, what is the second thing? Second thing is your cross slide. What is cross slide and where is it used? It is the main part of carriage. Cross slide is mounted on the top of saddle and move in the direction perpendicular to the axis of the main spindle. What does it do? It moves in the perpendicular direction to the axis of the main spindle. It can be operated either by hand, by using cross feed, screw, or power feed through the apron mechanism. This is how the cross feed is operated. What is compound rest now? Okay, third part of the carriage, compound rest. What is compound rest? So, it is also termed as a tool rest. Compound rest is also known also known as tool rest. It is supported on the cross slide, okay, and slide of a gradual circular base, which is known as swivel plate. Mark my words, write the definition. Okay, compound rest is also known as tool rest. Second is, what is swivel plate? It is a support on the cross slide and consists of graduated circular base. Is it clear? The base is graduated in degree and enables the cross slide to swivel at any required angle in the horizontal plane. The upper part is called as compound slide and can be moved by using the compound rest feed screw. Clear? So three main parts of the carriage is over. Now let's move to the fourth part of the carriage. What is it? So the fifth main point is tool post. Tool post is located on the top of the compound rest and is used to hold the tool or tool holder in a convenient working position. Okay, so what is the main function of the tool post? Oh, sorry, where is it located? It is located on the top of the compound rest. And why is it used? It is used to hold the tool. Simple as that. Tool post used for holding the tool. Now there are some of the common types of tool post which are generally used in lathe. Okay, first is your single screw tool post. Second is your 4-bolt tool post. Third is your open slide tool post, and fourth is your 4-way tool post. So see, if you have worked on the lathe machine in your college workshop, then which type of tool post we have? Okay, search for that and let me know. Okay, let me know what type of tool post do you have in your school, in your engineering school. Last part for the carriage is apron. What is apron? Apron is flat, fastened to the saddle and hangs over the front of the bed. It consists of gear, clutches and lever for operation the carrier by hand and power feed. The apron mechanism is discussed later in the okay. So we are going to discuss the apron mechanism later. And in addition to this, there is a split nut which engage when required with the lead screw, which while cutting internal and external threads. Is it clear? So this is apron. So these were the five main points, or sorry, these were the five main parts of the carriage. Okay, and what is carriage? Carriage is the one of the main part of your lathe machine. Is it clear? Now next is our feed mechanism. What is feed mechanism? So before starting feed mechanism, just look at the diagram. I'll show you feed gearing and feed rod. Okay, we are going to need these terms in our further discussion. Okay, so remember feed gearing and feed rod. Clear? Let's see what is feed mechanism. The movement of the tool relative to the workpiece is known as feed. So what is feed? Movement of tool relative to workpiece is known as feed. The lathe tool can have longitudinal cross and angular feed. So the lathe tool can have three types of feed. First is longitudinal cross, second is cross, and third is angular. These three types of feed can be there on lathe. Longitudinal feed is obtained by movement of the carriage. Cross feed is obtained by operation in the feed screw, and whereas angular feed is obtained by swelling a compound rest. Longitudinal and cross feed both are hand and power operated. Okay, these both are hand and power operated. Angular feed is only hand operated. So longitudinal और क्रॉस ये जो है वो हैंड और पावर ऑपरेटेड है, पर एंगुलर फीड जो है वो सिर्फ हैंड ऑपरेटेड है. द फीड मैकेनिज्म हैज वेरियस यूनिट through which a motion is transmitted from the headstock spindle to carry to the carriage. These units are as follows. Okay, let's see what are the units. So first is end of the bed gearing, second is feed gear box, third is feed rod and lead screw, and fourth is apron mechanism. So these are the four things, these are the four units which are used in feed mechanism. Is it clear? So the feed mechanism part is not too big, it's a short part. Is it clear? Now let's see the last part of the lathe. Okay, what is it? It is thread cutting mechanism. What it is? It is thread cutting mechanism. So now see, in thread cutting mechanism, the half nut mechanism, which makes the carriage to engage or disengage with the screw lead screw. Okay, it uses the rotation of the lead screw to transfer the tool along the workpiece to produce screw thread. It consists of the pair of half nuts which are capable of moving in or out of mesh with the lead screw. The two halves of the nut are connected in the cam slot in a circular disc with the help of two pins. When the disc is rotated by the hand lever attached to it, then the pins are guided in the cam slot. These pins serve to open or close the split nuts and hence engage and disengage with the lead screw. Is it clear? Then closing the half nut causes the carriage to move through a fixed distance for each revolving of the spindle. Okay, for each revolution of the spindle. The split nut or half nut is used only for thread cutting operations. Is it clear? So half nut, split nut, what are they? We are going to discuss in the further part. Before that, we have completed the various various parts of lathe. That is the main parts of lathe. Okay, which included bed, headstock, tailstock, carriage, feed mechanism, and thread cutting mechanism. So these are the some of the important parts in which we have studied this all. Okay, in this all there were also some important construction and function and the names of the parts as well which we have studied. Now the next thing is you have to draw this diagram. This is the most easy diagram of the lathe machine which you can draw and explain your examiner. Okay, you have always to remember these are the components which I have marked in yellow and blue are the most important components, and you have to draw it in the diagram and named it. Okay, so this was all the topic for today. Thank you.